Hello everyone, and I am here with another video. I'm just going to talk about the really the first sort of snowfall potential across the Ohio Valley. Sort of talk about the difference in the models, what each model is sort of saying, and we'll sort of go over the temperature forecast as well. Um, I will say over the last 24 to 48 hours, the models have trended a bit cooler, with a slightly a bit more moisture to work with, resulting in the potential for more snowfall across the Ohio Valley. Um, I won't touch on it that much, but there's also significant lake effect snow potential off of Lake Michigan for the Chicago sort of region and um, Gary, Indiana region. So um, definitely interesting. Looks um, really possible that a few areas could see over a foot of snow um, somewhere in that region. So I am going to start off with the HRRR here, sort of just go um, show you what the radar may look like. And we'll sort of look at a few other things as well, but um, mainly just the radar and the snowfall outputs from each model run with the temperatures, just to give a better overall idea and understanding of what you could expect across the Ohio Valley. So this is the HRRR model here, and I'm going to start this from really like tonight. Um, so like this evening, around 7 p.m. Eastern time, we can see this cold air really start to evac southward here, off of the Lake Michigan region and upper Midwest. This will sort of start moving southeastward here across the Ohio Valley, and we can already see on the HRR some snow showers mixing in with the moisture that's left over from a short wave that is progressing northeastward this morning currently. But as we keep moving on overnight, this is around midnight, and we can already see some snow showers, but nothing too crazy. Um, I'd expect schools, obviously to be open Monday. But we can see this very impressive. Maybe I can actually go on to the sort of overall view here just for a little bit. Zoom in a little bit here. And we can see this deep polar air across Wisconsin here, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, really start to dig downward here across Lake Michigan by tonight through midnight here. And we can see the center of this cool air kind of right over Chicago, um, producing some pretty heavy snowfall um, off the warmer Lake Michigan water, creating that sort of moisture to work with here. As we keep going on through Monday morning, light snow showers across the Ohio Valley, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, Eastern Illinois. We have that impressive, we have that impressive lake effect snow band off of Lake Michigan here. Again, some place around here is going to get, I think, over a foot of snow. I wouldn't say it's a major lake effect snow event, but it's definitely going to be an impactful event. Somewhere, like I said, it's going to have some sort of major snowfall. Very isolated, but somewhere we'll have it. You can see the deep, cool air, the 510 height thickness lines here. Anything, really below 540, 534 is a good indicator of some nice cool air. Anytime you get around the 522, 516, you're looking at some real deep polar air, and that is sinking southward here. Monday morning, this is Monday morning. As we go across the afternoon here, and I'm going to switch back to a more zoomed in look here. look at about 1 p.m. Monday afternoon. We can see our deep center of deep polar air is across southern Kentucky, northern Tennessee, Nashville, Murfreesboro, Bowling Green, Kentucky, Lexington, Portsmouth, Ohio, Charleston, Huntington, West Virginia. Some light to moderate snow showers, and I do think there will be more squall activity across sort of the southern Ohio, western West Virginia, central West Virginia range. Um, these these could have some rumbles of thunder. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, that's a very rare sort of event, but there is some sort of instability with these snow squalls, and that it will, um, not really enough to have a good chance for thunder snow. But don't be shocked if a rumble of thunder does sort of happen within one of these squalls. But we can see these squalls sort of move southeastward with the deep sort of polar air, the 510 line here, 516 line, really all across the Ohio Valley. And really, the snow potential lasts until early Tuesday morning. Your greatest, according to the HRRR, your greatest chance for nice snows are going to be Monday morning through sort of Monday evening, about 7 a.m. to around maybe 8 or 9 p.m. Monday across the Ohio Valley. And it should, once it hits the Appalachian Mountains, it should sort of fade away. And also, kind of interestingly enough, we may see a few flurries across central North Carolina and even north central South Carolina. Wouldn't completely rule that out to see a few flurries being spit out, but obviously nothing too crazy. You can see that here, but not a particular a major event here, but it's significant cool down with your first sort of snowfall of the year. Let's look at the NAM 3K model. This is another sort of short range model I like to use. And we're going to sort of progress through this evening here. It has a bit more moisture associated with it compared to HRRR. We can see that cool air. We see that our thickness lines 516, 522, 528. These will be moving southward and southeastward. Again, this is this evening. We can see some light snow showers across much of central Ohio, northern Kentucky, and even some heavier snow across central and northern Indiana. Um, it's important to realize that each model has biases, they have differences, and obviously they're not a set in stone forecast. This is just what we use to sort of get an idea of what could happen. And if we acknowledge some trends among these models, then we can sort of be more confident in saying what could possibly happen. So this NAM 3K model um, throughout Monday night here, or tonight, excuse me, throughout tonight into Monday morning around midnight here. And we can see, yeah, some light snow showers across the coal fields, Ohio Valley, and again, that nice lake effect snowband off of Lake Michigan. And then we can see our deep polar air start to move its way southward here across upper Midwest through into the Ohio Valley. As we move on through Monday morning here, again, what I will say, the models are pretty consistent on the intensity of this event and the timing of this event. So Monday morning, we can see most of our heavier snow showers start to move southward across, Indiana, Ohio, and this will sort of start progressing southeastward. Our center of polar air is again in the same sort of location, southern Kentucky, northern uh, Tennessee here. And we do have some light to moderate snow showers across the tri-state and much of central and eastern Kentucky. Some heavier snow squalls again. HRRR depicted this as well, but some heavier snow squalls across sort of northern Ohio and then later into central um, West Virginia here. This is Monday evening, around 4 or 5 p.m., and we can see the heavier sort of snow move through the coal fields in the Charleston region. Um, and then through sort of Tuesday morning, we can see that potential for some additional sort of light snowfall. And then by early Tuesday, well, mid Tuesday morning by like 8 or 9 a.m., really any sort of snowfall chances are gone as more warm air sort of from our west begins to move in. This is the RRFS A model, another short range model that I particularly like. If you sort of get over the convective bias it does have, but it's overall a decent model to sort of look at and to use. And as we move on into this evening here, we're going to see some isolated sort of rain showers, snow showers, nothing too crazy. Our polar air starting to dig in as we move on overnight here into early Monday morning. Moisture is, it doesn't have as much moisture, and it also could be a little bit later for that sort of southward drop of the deeper polar air, which will have much of that moisture associated with it. But again, some snow squalls possible, light to moderate snow showers, heavier snow showers off Lake Michigan. As we move on through Monday afternoon, um, we can see our deep polar air. Notice there is no 510 thickness line. So not as cool, no, we're not as cold as HRR and M3K, but it does still have a decent amount of moisture with it and enough cold air to produce some light to moderate snow showers and some snow squalls. One thing I didn't do is I didn't look at like potential Cape. So this one doesn't, yeah, I mean, not a whole lot of Cape convective available potential energy. And I can't get soundings off of this, but um, as we move on Monday evening, most of the snowfall will move out by around again, 7, 8 p.m. Monday evening. And we can see some light flurries, light snow showers across Monday night into early Tuesday morning. And by about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, most of the snow should be done. So I'm going to go back to the HRRR model here, and we're going to look at our potential snowfall. So this is the latest run of the HRRR, and we can see the heavier snow off of Lake Michigan here. Somewhere, like I said, is going to get a foot of snow or more. Um, but more, if we focus more on the Ohio Valley here, no, a general sort of coating to an inch is, I mean, going to be possible across much of the Ohio Valley. If we get closer to the mountains here, obviously there's going to be some higher totals. I think somewhere, there's going to be a nice sort of 8 to 12 inch range somewhere in the mountains, probably central Appalachian mountains here. Lowlands here, maybe a nice 1 to 2 inch event. We do see some, I think this is overdone 8 inches um, in the lowlands here is a bit overdone. Um, but I do think somewhere could see 3 to 4 inches, especially on these higher sort of hills and lower mountaintops here. Um, somewhere could get 3 to 4 inches. It's very well possible, especially if we get some training of those snow squalls. But the overall sort of idea of the HRRR is a light snow event. Enough snow to sort of be annoying to stick on to your roofs and cars. Maybe get a nice coating on the grass. I think obviously our road temperature is going to be too warm for it to stick on the roads, but I think the main issue with the roads is going to be flash freezing. Um, it's going to get pretty cold, and our wind chills are going to be pretty cold as well. So that's stage triple R. Again, like I said, not a huge snowfall event, but for our first snowfall, it's definitely respectable, to say the least. Here's another. This is the NAM 3K model, and here's our total snowfall. Again, has the higher totals like Michigan. Has that nice sort of 1 to 2 inch lowland, southern Ohio, sort of eastern Kentucky, um, accumulation totals. In the mountains, again, somewhere is going to get 8 to 12 inches. There could be a nice sort of snowpack in the mountains for a ski season. Start off pretty nice here. But again, if you get closer to like the Beckley, Chapmanville, Logan region, yeah, maybe 2 to 4 inches could be possible. On the higher sort of hilltops and smaller mountains across the lowlands, you could get maybe 2 to 3 inches as well. Um, but for the most part, an inch or two seems likely across both of these models. If we look at the RRFS here, a little bit, spottier, but you get the overall same idea here. Higher totals around the mountains, lowlands, like another inch or two. Overdoing some of these totals where it says 7 inches in the lowlands, but same overall idea with the RRFS here. An inch or two, nothing particularly crazy. I'm gonna look at our temperature. Oh, wrong tab here. Look at our temperatures. I'm gonna look at our wind chills as well, just quickly, so we have a good idea. So I'm gonna move along, probably starting Monday morning here, 7 a.m., 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. here. And yeah, much of the Ohio Valley is at freezing or below. There is a little pocket of some warmer temperatures around like Parkersburg, but that will quickly be lowered. But yeah, we can see our morning sort of lows across Monday morning. Pretty chilly. Nothing too out of the normal. It does warm up a little bit across the day throughout the day, Monday. But much of the Ohio Valley is still staying right around freezing, maybe a few degrees over freezing, according to HRR. Um, but still cold enough to sort of um, have that snow potential with any sort of moisture coming through. As we move into Monday evening into the overnight hours, Tuesday morning, yeah, we can see that deeper polar air start to really sink in. Some places, even across southern Tennessee, getting close to the teens. Obviously, the teens are going to be possible across the mountainous regions, lowlands, mid 20s possible. And then our Tuesday morning temperatures are going to be quite chilly. Look at our sort of wind chill here. Wind chills are going to be a bit more impressive as we can see already. Um, Teens and even approaching the single digits across sort of Illinois, northern Indiana, southern Michigan here. Lower 20s in the teens across Kentucky and the Ohio Valley, West Virginia, Ohio. Obviously, these warm up some across the day, but we'll have some blustery winds, probably 15 to 25 miles per hour out of the northwest at this point, Monday. And it's going to cause, our near freezing highs around 32 to more feel closer to, the lower 20s. Even some teens showing up across Indiana and Ohio. Going to be a cold Monday, and as we go into the overnight hours, um, around 3 or 4 or 5 a.m. here, yeah, the teens are going to be pretty much everywhere, and even some below zero uh, feels like temperatures in the mountains. So this is sort of goes hand in hand with that rapid sort of freezing possible on the roadways. With any sort of melting snow you get Monday evening into Monday night. and even overnight, Monday into Tuesday morning, it's going to sort of freeze instantly, causing some slick travel and mainly those untreated roads. But I figure most of the main roads will be treated enough to sort of combat that. But um, definitely, again, nothing too insane. We'll look at our dam real quick here. Monday morning temperatures again near freezing. Sort of that warm pocket across Parkersburg, sort of Wheeling. Um, we see that polar air and we can see it sort of move through. This is Tuesday morning, and we can see our mid 20s across the Ohio Valley. And Tuesday it does warm up into the lower 40s, but still a chilly day, blustery winds possible. Look at our wind chills for the NAM. A bit colder. We can see it noticeably a bit cooler here. More single digits popping up across Illinois and sort of into Indiana here. As we move on across the day, Monday, again, those sort of near 32-degree temperatures are going to feel closer to the lower 20s, and even some teens across central Kentucky in the coal fields. As we move on to Monday night into Tuesday morning, yeah, the dam has a bit more of that polar air, a bit deeper, a lot more negatives across the mountains here, but we can see um, those lower teens across Indiana, Ohio, northern Kentucky, even possibly into western West Virginia by Tuesday morning. Um, and with your sort of blustery wind gusts, you're going to have um, a pretty chilly morning, to say the least. I'll skip the RFS um, just because the deeper, cooler air isn't sort of there. But I guess I will just show the temperatures real quick. Um, Monday morning RFS model. Oops, excuse me. Again, near 32 degrees, that warmer pocket near Parkersburg between Wheeling and doesn't get as cool. Again, Monday night into Tuesday morning, we see a lot of upper 20s, lower 30s instead of sort of the lower to mid 20s, but still cool enough for some snowfall. I do want to just quickly show our 500 millibar winds. This is a good indicator to viewing our upper level sort of patterns and what's going to happen here. And initially we can see or this very very impressive trough here. Um, Sort of positively tilted, but more neutral than really anything. Um, and we can see our polar air start to really dig down across northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin here, the Michigan Peninsula. We can really see it dig down right here. This is by sort of tonight into Monday morning. Um, this is into Monday, like late morning Monday, like 10, 11 a.m. And we can see the deep polar air across the Ohio Valley in a really impressive trough here, a deep, deep, deep trough, which is going to help this cold air really advect southward into the Carolinas, Georgia, Alabama, making it pretty cool for this time of year. We don't really see it this cold across these areas this time of year. Um, as we move on through Monday evening, a lot of that moisture associated with this polar sort of shortwave and trough is going to be across the mountains. So that's why we see that sort of end of snowfall Monday evening across the Ohio Valley. But we do have this, insane jet streak across the sort of mid-Atlantic coast. Um, but yeah, this is where that polar air sits and sort of will move northeastward, bringing that warmer air to the west. Um, this will show our sort of mean. Um, this is an HREF, and this has, I think, 6 different sort of models combined, if I'm not mistaken, and sort of averages them out. So our light blues is 1 to 2 inch, and sort of our moderate blue 2 to 4 inch here. And we can see the mean, yeah, 1 to 2 inches in the lowlands here. Maybe a few, 2 to 3 inch spots in the more higher mountaintops, like I have mentioned. If we go higher in the mountainous regions, we can see these darker blues and light greens, and that indicates, our 4 to 8 inches, maybe even a 10-inch amount possible on those higher peaks. Um, Again, this is a nice little start to our winter season. Nothing too insane, but nothing that's just a flurry to. It's not. It's going to be sort of noticeable for sure. Um, but yeah, that's about it. Weather becomes a bit more quiet. It warms up some across the midweek. So if you're a fan of the cold weather and the snow, enjoy it. I do think December is going to be, late November into December has the potential to be a pretty cool month across the Ohio Valley. We'll see how it sets up. We'll see how the patterns sort of evolve. Um, and I think I could quickly even show you if you give me one moment. So what I'm showing here is our Euro extended model, our Euro ensemble extended model, and this is that sort of polar front that I've been talking about this video. And as we move on through November here, um, we do see a nice potential warm up mid-November into the end of November, but starting December, obviously this is too far out to be set in stone. This is just to give people an idea. Um, and obviously, like I said, this far out, it's almost impossible to know what's going to happen. But we do see the indication of maybe a cooler December, and you need cold air for snowfall. So maybe the potential for some increased snowfall in the upper United States here, in the northern and northeastern United States, maybe into the Ohio Valley. So we move on to later December, closer to Christmas. I mean, again, the models aren't going to have a good grasp of what's going on, even into early mid-December. But the potential is there. The indication is there. The signs are there. And we'll see how this evolves over the next 3 or 4 weeks. Um, it easily could be a warm December, but I do think a cooler December is likely. But until then, that's all I really have for December. But um, everyone stay safe, and I hope people who enjoy the cold and snowfall enjoy it while it lasts, because it will be a decently warm November, I think. But everyone take care, and if you have any questions, let me know.